I seriously need to learn how to fade that music. Hello and welcome everybody. One day it won't just stop abruptly. How are we doing? Hope you're all well. Welcome to episode 10. We hit double figures of the Antillian Mysteries campaign. I should at some point probably unmute Tyler and Erin, but I'm a big meanie. And Tyler can nod his head all he wants, but you can't see him yet. Although in fairness, I think they can technically unmute themselves. So let's do that for them. There we go. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We are still waiting on a little one. She will be here as soon as. We're going to start with that though, because I want a game. I want to get my game on. Get your game on. How are you two? It's been 2 weeks. Apologies for my illness last week. I was not very well at all.
No worries.
I was poorly and I didn't even go to work that evening, so that's how bad it was. And I always turn up to work, no matter how bad I am. But yes. So there we are. Did it look? Oh yes, thank you. Apologies. Please ignore my food.
You're gonna share?
No, I mean I've pretty much eaten it. I left my peas because I'm a naughty boy.
You're supposed to share, Dan.
I left my peas.
The DM doesn't bring treats. That's everyone else's job.
I bring the treats in terms of my beautiful voice. I should bring treats. Indeed. So yes. So we're going to start now. Feel free to you two kind of like jump in and go. No, you've got that around your head because obviously it's been 2 weeks and my brain has melted in that time. Several times over.
No, my brain's melted too. So yeah, we'll see.
So last we left off, following your exploits in Cynthia and returning to Coston to regain some coin, you decided to travel towards Malfaras, choosing to take the southern road. On the way there, on the way back from Cynthia, there was a large earthquake and part of the mountain fell in over the quarries at Coston. You decided to go away from that area, and in Lemelianas you found a rather wise. You're not quite sure what he was, but a wise gentleman who informed you that the imagery was of Aldenach, one of the demon goddesses. Upon wandering round Lemelianas a bit more, you spent your first night in the Ale and Hearty, a very interesting inn, before upgrading to the Silver Goblet. You went looking for a jobs board, and you found said jobs board, and proceeded to head towards the Melora's garden, was it?
Yeah, Melora. Wait, Melora's?
Yeah, the Grove or Melora's garden.
Yes, that was it. Melora's garden.
Melora's garden.
Yes, yes. You're heading towards Melora's garden, which was a grove of trees at the south of the city, responding to a request for aid. As you thanks, Donald. As you approached the. Trying to find. This is probably more apt. As you exit the sort of like the southern suburbs of the city, sort of like you see the paths extending further south, and very obviously in front of you, you see this fairly large copse of trees. It almost seems oddly circular. It seems very, very polygonic in terms of its structure. Sort of like it does seem very almost like perfect circle of trees, with two temples near it. One covered in vines, one looking very fresh, very pristine, made of marble. A few people milling here and there, and you can see groups of people sort of like around the edges of the tree line, but not within them themselves. So you are there in the southern reaches of Lemelianas. Please ignore the wolves. I haven't set up a sound set for this, I realised. What would you like to do? 2/3 of definitely not prostitutes.
What did the note for the job request say? It just said help needed in the grove, or was there more specifics?
Aid in Melora's garden is what I have written down.
That's all it said.
Okay. All right then.
And we've picked up our druid on the way.
Yes, Vistra is with you.
And there's a stone building and a wood building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Sparkles lead the charge.
I don't always have to lead the charge.
You're the noble here.
Does this look noble to you? This is Visho territory, but she's not here right now. You said there's a stone and a wooden building? That's all we
That's
see.
what I wrote down, yeah.
Yeah, I have that too.
Dan, we can't hear you if you're saying anything.
I'm not saying anything. Sorry, I'm just giggling at Star Wars resub.
You know what? Odds, wood, even, stone. Odd. So wood. We'll head to the wood.
That makes sense because our druid likes to like wood.
And we'll head to the wooden building.
It does taste nice, Vistra says.
Oh God. She's gonna kill you, Dan, if she finds out that you said that.
She can kill me when she's here.
Dan, are you gonna show our faces or no?
Are you still speaking at stream?
All
What?
it is full screen Dan right now.
Oh, my bad. Okay, there we go. I do apologise. I'd seriously need a third monitor. I have so many things.
Right now I
For
need
D&D, I have so many things, so many windows up. It's unreal. We've got Zoom, we've got Syrinscape, we've got Stream Labels, we've got OBS, we've got Discord. Keeping an eye on in case we are made contact. Oh, new mentions. Oh, it's just me going live. It's just I have all the things open right now. Indeed. So you're heading towards the wooden building.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So wandering. Let's get this up.
Pardon me as I adjust my camera.
Wandering towards the wooden building, which is the furthest one.
Is it the southern? Okay.
It is this southern one here. You traverse a path around sort of like, and you realise actually that this grove itself is actually quite big. It's a good few hundred feet across from what you can gather walking around it. As you approach the wooden building, you can see a couple of elves carved in beautiful greens and leaf browns, sort of like standing at the entrance of a temple, just looking towards the garden, paying you no heed, talking between themselves.
You said temple?
It's got a very temple like essence, and Vistra actually sort of like turns to you and goes, "This is a temple to the Wild Mother."
Do you feel they are the ones that requested aid? Should we speak with them first, Vistra?
Melora is another name for the Wild Mother. It makes sense too.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just go up and approach them then.
Okay, that's no problem. You see two male half elves standing at the entrance. One of them sort of has very braided brown hair with sort of like what appears to be sort of like strands of grass woven through the braid. Is wearing a brown tunic with a green cloak with a few symbols here and there on it. A circlet of sort of twigs sort of like adorns sort of like the backs of his ears. The other one is a blonde-haired, slightly younger half elf. The older one with the brown braids is doing most of the talking to him as you're approaching. The young one sort of like nodding and listening and sort of looking towards the grove and looking towards him and sort of like just taking everything in that he seems to be giving it. He sees you approach and sort of gives you a nod. Well, welcome, fair travellers, to Wild Mother's grounds. How may we help you, passing?
The real question is, are you the person we are supposed to be helping?
Are you responding to the call for aid?
Yes.
I see, yes. Yes, indeed. Perhaps you'd better come inside and sort of gestures towards the temple.
All right.
Goes in. Do you follow him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all dead.
So you'll follow him in. The temple itself on the inside is it's very warm, given its construction. Sort of the building itself is primarily wooden, sort of like vines, sort of creeping around the building. Sort of like it looks like it is, just it's given itself to nature itself. The inside is very warm, very cosy. There are sort of several areas for people to essentially sort of like pay worship to a shrine of the Wild Mother that seems to have been carved out of wood from a tree that seems to be growing from the ground itself.
Okay.
He leads you to a room just around about, which is a very simple room. Pretty much having just literally a bed, a desk, a chair in it. He stands and sort of like looks at the desk and sort of shuffles around his papers a bit and then turns to you. Yes, we've had some issues with the Grove. The wooden building itself is creaking a little. There seems to be a sickness within it that is not one of nature. We sent someone to have a look themselves. We haven't seen them for a week. We're not sure why, and I daren't leave the temple too long for leaving it unattended and obvious reasons. We are wondering if people can essentially sort of find out what's going on within the Grove and help us understand more what this sickness is and aid us in getting rid of it.
Has anything like this happened before in the history of the Grove, or is this the first time?
Kind of like thinks a little bit and looks towards the papers on the thing, and he doesn't seem to think. He can't think of anything particularly. To my knowledge, I've been here. I've been part of this temple for a while, Mother, for 40 years, and nothing in my time, nothing I've read about. No.
All right, then just making sure it's not a extremely long cycle of something and something different.
This is definitely different. The centre of the Grove seems to have grown dark. It seems to have something seems to be feeding the darkness. We don't know what.
Now, when you say darkness, do you mean it's literally dark in there, or the trees and other nature elements are dying in there?
The trees themselves are not coping well, but it seems like in the centre Grove it's almost like you find a night, everlasting night. It's strange. Very strange. We would of course be looking to recompense any such undertakings. We appreciate that it's time and effort and skills that we are utilising. We may be, the Wild Mother may look after nature and all of us. However, we also appreciate that sometimes a helping hand is needed.
Now, what is your name, and can you also tell me about this individual that went missing in there?
Yes, absolutely. I do I do apologise. I'm forgetting my manners. Melora, forgive me. My name is Relhanar.
What?
Relhanar.
Can you
Spelling.
REL apostrophe HANA.
Hana. Okay.
Relhanar.
That's the brown braids, right?
Yes, it's brown braids. Yes, I am the warden of the Temple of Wild Mother here in Lemolianos. My colleague who helps run and maintain the temple and the grove with me is Zen. He's
Z-E-N.
Z-E-double-N. Sorry. He's a
That's Is that the missing person one?
Yes.
Okay.
He's you can't miss him. He's a rather rambunctious halfling, but his dedication to the Wild Mother is unfounded. It's unerring. He has looked after that grove since before I can remember.
Wait, so that was not the blonde-haired dude.
No, that was the missing person.
Zen is a missing person.
Zen is a missing person within the grove. We'd obviously very much appreciate him back and in his rightful place of tending Melora's garden once again. Hopefully he's okay. It seems odd that although the grove is large, it pales in comparison to the forests to the north.
And you haven't sent anyone else in after him, correct?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay, just making sure. We don't want this becoming an exponential problem.
No, exactly. I mean, hands are short coming at times, and to lose one of the three others is a great worry and a great loss. To lose any more would be catastrophic for our ability to upkeep the garden and the temple and the grounds.
I want to try and like this is gonna be super obvious, but I want to like whisper to like have a quick conversation with Vistra to the side. I want to be asking him like, Vistra, in any of your animal forms, would you have like a scent and be able to attract someone easier in that form if you had their scent?
Well, it's not inconceivable. Yes. Most animals' sense of smell are better than our own.
Okay. Shoot, how do I say his name? Hanla, do you have any of Zen's belongings that we might be able to use to help track with him?
I don't know. He lives in town. He lives in the city. I'm the only one that lives within the temple.
Oh, okay.
And you look around and you realise that sort of like short of this room and the temple itself, there's very little else to it. It's a very sort of like very quaint, very sort of like small, very intimate temple itself. It's probably no more than 50 feet by 40 feet in total.
All right. I think that's about all I want to know. Is there anything you wish to ask, Quinn?
I think we need to just go in and investigate and see what's going on.
All right.
Okay, we'd be very grateful. And he kind of like again sort of like turns to his desk and sort of like looks around. Sorry, just bear me 2 seconds. Organisation was never my strongest suit. This one. Yes. And sort of like reaches for a paper sort of like under a pile of a few. And turns and goes, yes, we would be willing to offer 450 gold as recompense. Sorry, it's not that much, but it's the best we can muster as a small conclave.
We understand. Well, I think that concludes, and we shall go search for your missing comrade.
Thank you very kindly. May the Wild Mother's light guide you.
Actually, one last thing. When did this blight start happening? How long has it been going on for?
We first noticed it probably about a week and a half ago. It's very, very recent and very new. Zen has been missing for 3 days.
Right. Alright, thank you for your time.
Thank you, and may you be safe in there.
Right. So, assume the party and I walk outside of the temple.
Okay. Walking outside, you can see sort of a small group ahead of you, sort of like on the edges of the grove. A couple of the sort of like police forces of the town, sort of policing force of the town, sort of like just kind of keeping an eye on them from a distance, making sure that they don't go in there, seeing as the temple itself has obviously had these issues. Word has spread around the local area.
Vishra, do you have any clue about this? I'm not so good with nature. I feel that's more your area.
Well, I have absolutely no clue. It says it's not natural, then it's not natural. I'd assume they know they're in Grove.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it could be. She rolled really low on a nature check.
I would say that's an intelligence check, not a wisdom check, and I know she's.
Yeah, she rolled a natural 3.
How big did you say the forest was?
By the looks of it, it's a few hundred feet across.
Few hundred as.
Few hundred feet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's like a very dense. I mean, looking at it now, sort of like you can see, sort of it is very dense. Sort of like, but it's very small. It almost seems kind of like someone's taken sort of like a woodland and gone.
All right. I'm trying to think of. Wait. Hang on. I need to look at the spell real quick.
That it was like everlasting night in the.
In the middle, yes.
I didn't know there's seagulls.
This may or may not be the same soundscape you heard in Neola when we had the same quandary with the birds. They might not be seagulls. There's birds around. There's a grove. They're hooting happily, as are the dogs barking happily. Stupid soundscape. What are you thinking?
I'm just trying. My mind's like trying to think of ways of how not to get lost in there. One person's already
I have
vanished.
dark vision. I can give. We've already established that.
Yeah, but is that the dark vision I'm worried about? If it's something magic and he's. Quinn? Do you have any rope on you?
Do I have rope? Let me check. I'm pretty sure we
God,
have
seagulls.
rope. Yes, I have rope. I'm sure Vistra has rope because we may have used the rope to lower her down into the well.
Okay. Well, I don't think we should use it the whole way of the forest. Once we get to the center, I feel like using the rope as a kind of guideline to make sure that we can.
I only have 50 feet.
Well, it depends how big the darkness is. All right. Are we up for entering this?
Yes, let's go. It's 450 gold. Let's get us some money.
Money. Okay. So
Alright.
You could buy that spell, right? That you were looking at?
Yes, whatever it was. I have to look at notes. All right.
Okay, so walking into the middle.
Well, yeah, walking to the forest. So I don't think we're quite in the middle yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
we're
fine.
walking. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So you set foot towards the forest, and the police forces look to sort of like step towards you. However, then you sort of like you see them sort of like arch their heads up and sort of like take a step back. Turn your head around, you see Rohana at the doors of a temple, sort of signalling to them that you are essentially aiding the cause and to let you through, unopposed. They do so. They sort of like they sort of have a bit of a smirk on their faces, sort of like as you're walking past. Going into the grove, it's quite difficult terrain. As I say, the trees themselves are quite dense. You travel sort of 10 feet in, 20 feet in, 30 feet in, and you turn around and you realise that you can no longer see out of this grove. The trees are that sort of like densely packed around. Do you continue?
Do we? Yes.
Okay.
Unless
I'm thinking of something.
we
I'm
don't
curious.
have enough rope for this.
Yeah. I'm gonna reach out to. Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to one of the trees and just like put my like hand on it, and then just use presentation and make like a blue or like a rainbow claw print on a tree.
Okay, that's fine. It's just it. The tree bears the sigil of Irid Clares.
Yes.
Trees ain't gonna be angry now.
Okay.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
not a burn thing. It's a magic
mark.
thing.
Magical mark.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like a paint thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you continue further in?
Yes.
Okay. So you sort of like step forward a bit more. 40 feet. 50 feet. 60 feet. And you notice that sort of like the air around you does seem to have got different. You sort of step a bit more, 70 feet, 80 feet. And then it opens up a little bit in the middle. It opens up for you. And you look up, and whereas before you were in sort of like early to mid-afternoon, what vague sky you can see through the trees is a clear starry night. Very beautiful, very nice. And the grove seems to just open a little in terms of the trees are slightly less dense. The floor is beautifully green and mossy. There are a few different toadstools. Some a very beautiful pale blue, some a really nice sage green with yellow stripes emanating from the top. Do you continue?
This is weird, guys. I'm pretty sure it was not nighttime.
I would say get out the rope and we start making a trail.
Okay, so what are you doing with the rope?
I want to say like tie it to a tree like on the edge of this effect,
Okay.
and then just like slowly like the golden string kind of thing, like let it out as we walk further into it.
Okay, that's fine. So you tie the rope around sort of like a not too thick sort of like tree, so as not to use too much of your rope. Easy enough. And you continue walking towards the clearing.
Can you
Yeah.
even see is the question.
You said it was like
Can
night.
Sparkle see?
You can. It's again the sky above is night, but there does seem to be almost like a very low It's dim light. It's not black. There does seem to be a dim light, sort of just in and around this kind of like this forest-like area. Yes. Continuing forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make care to let the rope out behind you. You go into the clearing. 20 feet. 40 feet. 50 feet. Reach the end of the rope. And looking around, you can still see where the rope is attached to. The clearing seems to continue forward.
Can you do your hand thing and we'll just untie the rope?
What do you mean, do my hand thing?
The hands on the tree. We've been here.
I can do that, yes.
Okay, let's do that.
I can only have 3 of them. So I'm making enough.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is far away kind of from the last one, right?
I would, yeah. So then I'll do another handprint on the tree.
Okay. You place a handprint on a tree, and whereas the previous one was a flat sort of rainbow coloured image, this one you sort of like you cast and you finish casting a spell, and there appears to be an actual sort of like magical spectral hand that is shimmering rainbow. The sort of like the edges are sort of almost have a sparkle about it. And it sort of seems to be almost moving.
All right.
But not moving. It's like you've essentially just stuck an animated decal on a tree.
That's different.
Okay, the last hand did not do that.
No. Can I make an Arcana check? I'm trying to figure out why I did that, or some clue.
Yeah, go. Make an Arcana check.
Oh, that is not great. That's a total of 7.
You are not sure, but you are damn proud of your work.
I'm not sure why this has happened, but I would expect no less from me.
So it's a happy accident?
Yes.
Okay.
You hear at that moment sort of just ahead and sort of like just ahead and to the right a little bit. You hear a of a twig. It's like scurrying away from you.
Do we actually hear wolves?
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna roll that one because it rolled horrible.
8.
16.
Okay. Anyway, you're too busy sort of like admiring your handiwork, literally. Really sort of like enjoying sort of like the more you move your head, the more it seems to sort of like the hand sort of almost seems to sort of like just kind of like and wave at you and sort of like and follow you around. Quinn, you sort of like you look towards the source of the noise and look around, and you do see about 60-70 feet ahead a small pair of horns just scurry behind a few trees.
Small pair of horns.
Yes.
So there is something in the woods here, guys.
What do you
And
see?
it has horns. I don't know. It's something with a small pair of horns.
I mean, you have horns.
Is it horns like me, Dan? What kind of horns?
Yeah, kind of like small and sort of like just outwardly pointed. What you saw.
Like,
Kind
it's
of like,
not like my.
no, not like yours.
Okay. Like, pointy. Yeah. It's not like mine.
All right. You said that.
There was a sound. That's where it came from.
You said this area is like different than the rest of the forest. It was like mossy and it had mushrooms and toadstools, right?
Yeah, I mean, looking around you, sort of like the whole area seems sort of like it's almost like the the grove sort of like that you've passed through, it's very similar to that sort of like, you know, the trees are the same types of trees, but the colours are much more vibrant. The area seems much almost like someone's sort of like taken a contrast and turned it up to 11. And the air itself, it feels pleasant, but feels different. Because like every breath you're taking is kind of like it's almost like, you know, it's almost like the first breath of air you've ever taken. Every single time, it's like feels really good, fills your lungs, really makes you feel sort of like, you know, pleasant.
This is how it always is, or if it's this weird stuff going on. Is it like... Quinn wondering if it's always feeling like it's what Dan just described.
I wouldn't think this is normal. They said this happened about maybe a week and a half ago. Wait, question.
Yes.
What happened in the world a week and a half ago? Like, when was the earthquake in perspective to this event?
A few days.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, the earthquake, a week and a half would have preceded the earthquake.
Okay.
A week and a half would have been probably you travelling back from Squelton.
You caused this.
I did nothing wrong.
It's your stupid management.
It probably would have been your transportation.
Well, there's something that knows we're here.
I mean, we could always try the friendly approach. I could.
Yeah, we could, if it's friendly is the thing. You know, not like maybe a giant scorpion that's trying to eat us, or eat one of us.
Scorpions don't live with mushrooms.
Don't they?
Should we just keep going? I mean, it's just weird stuff going on with your magic. We're just seeing pointy horned creatures. What could go wrong?
Is there anyone there? We're looking for Zen.
You wait a moment. No response.
Worth a shot.
Tried.
What are you doing?
Moving forward?
I guess so.
Okay. You continue on a little bit more. 20 feet. 30 feet. 40 feet. 50 feet. 60 feet. 70 feet. Still going. The clearing itself sort of, you realise, you look around and it's very forest-like. In fact, both make a survival check.
Oh gosh.
Oh wait. Kind of okay. A 20. It's not a nat 20. It was a nat.
I got a 5.
Okay.
So 20.
Image, you're sort of like, you're taken in by sort of like some of the sights around you. You can see sort of like the trees, sort of like, you know, it does, whereas it's been previously green trees, some of these are you know, sort of like beautiful, sort of like red, some pink, some are really beautifully sort of autumnal yellow. Some of the moss on these trees, sort of like, it ranges from green to almost like a deep blue purple. There seems to be sort of like some fungi which are growing sort of like, you know, as you've gone further, gone from your normal sort of like sized fungi to significantly taller. There are some toadstools that are almost coming up to sort of like your thigh height, and you know, in proportion in terms of their size as well. You imagine that, you know, a small enough creature could probably sit on it quite comfortably. Quinn, you realise that you've been travelling a lot further than the width of the grove. You realise that by now you should be
The other side.
either approaching the other side or out the other side. And as you look around, you realise that you can't see a rope anymore.
We grabbed it.
Oh, you grabbed it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I put my hand there.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're far enough away, and again, sort of like, although it is a more clear clearing, you can't see where the other hand is. But you know the direction it is. But back in that direction, the trees seem different. The whole place seems different. You can't quite put your finger on why, but you ain't in Kansas anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, we, I think at this point should have been out the other side of the forest. And we're not. We're still in creepy nighttime forest time.
I don't even think we've been in the forest for a long time.
So, something's up, and it's weird, probably magic shit that, yeah.
It's at that moment that, sort of from behind you, sort of like where a group of these toadstools are, you hear a voice. Oh no, I don't think you should be calling it creepy magic shit. It's actually quite special. It is. And you turn to see a sort of small, sort of like halfling-sized creature, with sort of like gnarled, sharp but short horns, what appears to be sort of like a humanoid body, and then fur, and 2 legs and hoofs. Sitting there, just on one of the toadstools, quite happily, just kind of like just watching you.
Alright.
How are we doing there?
Well, we came in here to look for someone else that seems to have wandered in here. And I can definitely tell we're no longer in the city, so...
The city?
Yes.
What city?
Well...
We're not Melora's garden anymore, are we?
No, we're not.
No, you're definitely not.
Oh.
Oh, bless you, kind child. Can I have your name?
You can call me. God. Mind is literally okay. Out of character, mind is having a brain fart right now. So, a literal brain fart. Okay, you can call me Lily.
Lily, what a beautiful name. What a beautiful name, Lily. Well, indeed. Well, my name is Bara. Very pleased to meet you. B-A-R-A-R. B-A-R-A-R. And welcome to the Feywild.
There it is.
What brings you to this place?
I was just waiting for it. I'm like, how do I get Tyler that knows?
Well, okay, see, the thing is, Erin's freaking out because she's like, shit, it's the Feywild and you do not give your name to Fey creatures.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well, my brain's had a brain fart because there's, oh god, okay, out of character. I know there's a thing you do when someone asks you for your name, say this thing, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. That's when my brain fart was going off.
That's so good, so good. I was very much looking forward to what your answer was going to be.
No, I was not going to say you were not.
Ah, well, pleased to meet you. What can we do for you fine folk?
Have you recently seen a halfling wander through these parts?
Halfling wandering through these parts. I can't say I have. Not for a few years, anyway. There was
Right.
that one guy. Yes, no, I couldn't think of it. There was one guy, but it was a couple of years ago now.
Tell me, I'm assuming, does time here work differently than the material plane?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, if it's one day here, does one day pass? Or can it be vary?
I've never really been to the material plane, so I wouldn't know.
Right. Oh, this complicates matters quite a bit. Hmm.
Does it? I think
Yes.
very straightforward. You know, it's currently nighttime. It should be daytime. It's not very complicated.
Well, it was daytime where we were, and when we came here, it was nighttime.
Ooh, we travelled far then.
No, we walked through a forest and it became night.
How big was this forest?
Few hundred feet.
Yeah. Like I said, weird magic stuff happened. That's why I was calling it that.
No, it wasn't the weird part. You called it creepy. Be nice to magic. I know you don't understand magic all the time, but
Just
magic
weird
is a
stuff.
part of nature.
And now we're in another place.
Yes, I understand, Quinn.
So Bra pulls out a little tiny sort of like wooden flute. And you realise that sort of at that point there's this creeper sort of like just growing sort of like around your legs, not tightly, but just Quinn just like sort of like there's some plant life just happily growing sort of like up your legs, sort of like just finding root up to about your knees. He goes, creepy like that.
Yes. Can it go away and maybe cover him? And I'm pointing to Sparkles.
Excuse me?
I'm sure we can arrange that. And he sort of like brings his and the creeper sort of like just seemed to always kind of like just like detach, sort of like look up at Quinn, look up at Irid, and sort of like start weaving through the forest floor and sort of weaving round Irid's ankle. Again, gently, not tight, just growing.
It's quite a lovely talent you have there.
Oh, that's
Such
nothing.
I mean,
Could do many more things, trust me. Would you like to see some?
I believe we were in a bit of a hurry.
Oh, okay.
Could you,
okay.
the halfling you saw a few years ago,
Yes.
where did he go? Is there a town or village nearby?
There's only my little, me and my family's little hovel. I believe he set off towards a temple.
The temple. The temple to whom?
A temple?
Doesn't have a god or goddess attached?
I suppose you could call her a goddess.
She an archfey?
She is, yes. She is. She's very beautiful, she is. Very beautiful. Though I haven't seen her much recently. Which is a shame. I do like looking at her. She's very good to look at. Very nice. Very calming.
Alright. Thank you. Which direction is the temple from here?
Oh, if you want to head that way, about a couple of miles, you should find it.
Okay. Couple of
pretty
miles.
Yeah, a couple of miles. Very pretty feeling. Very pretty.
Alright. But thank you for your time. And then I'm gonna kind of motion to my companions to scurry along away so he's out of earshot kind of thing.
You notice sort of like the look on his face drop slightly. And he sort of looks towards you. Really? Really?
Really, what now?
And he brings up his flute and disappears. Gone.
Why are you snickering there?
Cause I don't know how much I want to make Fey knowledge bleed into Quinn right now. Cause you just did something that you shouldn't have.
What, I didn't pay him with something?
No, you said certain words that you shouldn't have.
Hmm.
2 words to be exact. But you know, that's Aaron just snickering the thing, I guess. I don't know. Cause yeah, there's no real reason for Quinn to know any.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weird goat thing asking for her name, and someone didn't use the fake name.
I forgot. And you didn't. And it's kind of, and that's
Okay,
also kind of at a like Tyler mistake. Like if you said Lily, I obviously wouldn't have gone like, oh yeah, this is Quinn. That's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
It's fine. That's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I never gave him my name.
Yeah, but you know, both of us are screwed right now, so it's okay.
All 3 of us, Vicious with us.
Mr. said nothing.
Vistra's sort of like currently sort of like looking around, sort of like this place in absolute awe. Like I say, I mean, sort of like the colours of this place, like every green is vivid, every yellow is almost like sort of like a beautiful sort of like, you know, really like going from a light caramel to almost a daffodil kind of yellow. The reds are just absolutely bright and stunning. The whole place is just incredible.
Well, I have no idea what to make of that encounter. I'm worried how much time passes here and how much is in the world.
That I don't. Should we try to head back the way we came?
I'm not sure we'll be able to find the way we came. It may be easier to enter than it is to exit. And my guess is if we manage to find Zen and visit this archfey, we might be able to find easier passage with her.
I don't have a good feeling about Faye though. So
About what?
the Fae.
Neither do I. I just hear strange rumors as a kid and read what I could in books, which wasn't much.
Make a history check, Irid.
Can I make a check too? I just want to see how much I can bleed
Ooh,
into.
17.
17. Yeah, the Feywild itself is fairly well documented.
Okay.
You know it's a plane that runs parallel with the prime material plane. You know that it's very sort of like, you know, has very interesting inhabitants. You know that the Archfey are practically revered as gods. This whole sort of like, you know, the whole plane magic is rampant to the point where non-magic users sort of like, if they tap into the right thoughts, can essentially make things happen magically without any kind of arcane training or arcane sort of like bloodlines. You know that the Archfey are extremely powerful to an nth degree. And that there are several who live throughout the Feywild itself, almost like ruling over sort of certain areas and certain regions, and they will interact on occasion with each other, but each kind of leaves each other to its region to kind of like rule as it sees fit. But they are hella powerful arcanists.
Okay.
There's been talk about them essentially being able to manifest any weapon out of any sort of like thin air and wield it just like any trained elf warrior.
All right. So they said that Zen went towards the temple years ago. Years ago, it was weeks out there. So if we manage,
Days out there.
yes, 3 days. But that means if time stays the same, then time in here is much faster. But even if we spend a long time in here, we should come out relatively when we entered.
Okay.
I'm not for sure if the time stays constant with each other, but since this area has been infested in the grove, is more likely stable for a portion.
Hey, Dan, out of character question.
Yes.
Can I make a roll to see how much I would know? Because I know there's some stuff that might potentially, because there's like never dance with a fairy. I don't know if that would be something.
Make a religion check.
Okay. Natural 20. Fuck. Zero.
You know that the Fae can be sort of like quite tricky through your knowledge and affiliations. You are aware that sort of like there are certain customs and certain traditions that, when in the presence of a Fae, you don't do.
Yeah. Okay.
Not all of them you're sort of like sure as the reasons why, but you know definitely not to dance with them. You generally know to be very careful when it comes to gifts, both giving and receiving. That's all your character would really know.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here like going,
Yeah.
fudge, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because like I said, out of character, Aaron knows a few more things than probably Quinn in character does. So I just need the line to separate.
That's fine.
Meta.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
you know sort of like there's a certain sort of like traditions around gifting that if not adhered to correctly, although you can't think precisely what they are, but it's certainly in terms of like giving gifts and receiving gifts, you are aware of sort of like the Fae's literal nature in some ways, especially with the asking for a name.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not specific with your wording, then they can literally essentially take ownership of your name. And they will own your name.
Yep.
And yes, so you're very much aware.
So
in
I
terms
know
of
this.
being told not to, yeah, you're aware, and you're aware of not to dance with them.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's more through your affiliations.
I have no idea how I worded the Lily answer, but I'm gonna assume I probably knew well enough.
Yeah, you said I am called, so he asked for your name, and you said
Cool.
you can call her, you can call you Lily.
Okay. Good, because that's how I needed to work. Okay, so he's gone, right?
For now.
Okay, so things we should know.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had a slight slip here. Sparkles. If they ask you for your name, I would watch how you word it. Or just give a fake name.
All right.
Because otherwise, they might have ownership or don't know the exact details. I just know not to give. You either need to watch how you say it, or you need to just give them a.
All right.
Also, don't dance. So we are not talking anything about my ability to dance.
Okay.
And we need to be careful about gifts. If they give us gifts, that's a whole nother thing. So we need to be careful.
All right.
I don't know about what you said that made him angry, but we probably need to be careful. It's pretty much we need to be careful of our words.
All right.
Which is probably not going to be... We're probably going to slip up with this drama here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Oh, Just go lick some of the wood. I'm sure it tastes better here.
Sure it does. I don't like your tone.
No, don't lick the wood. Don't lick the wood. Don't consume food or drink.
Now you're wanting to make me you want to make me lick the wood. Also, you wouldn't know anything about food or drink.
I know that was
Yeah.
fair and out of
Yeah.
the going.
What do you do,
I guess.
dear adventure group?
Stuck in the fucking Feywilds.
Yeah.
Episode 10, we're in the Feywilds, guys. You know, we just made Dan, totally have to replan everything, and he's just gonna stick us in the Feywilds.
Well,
Yeah.
So it was always going to be there no matter what you did. You were going to reach it at some point. You just seem to have reached it now. It's fine.
I guess we can head towards this temple. Or, I don't know of anything else around here, and we don't know how long night is here. But it's bright enough to see. It's still bright enough to see, right? Like dim light?
Yeah, I mean, sort of like your visual range is reduced somewhat. You spent enough time around here by now to realise that the glow that you can see is from the mushrooms and toadstools. They seem to kind of like emit kind of a really low, kind of like quite nice dim, low blue glow. That is kind of like sort of like almost like lighting up. You look up and you can see that the moon is out. It's a really thin crescent. It's almost a new moon. But these seem to almost kind of like mimic moonlight glow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you say you can see, but not as far as those with dark vision.
Okay. Shall we head towards the temple then?
Follow the path that if there a path that he pointed out?
There's a direction he pointed out.
Does it look like there's a path that we could follow?
There is no path whatsoever. There is trees and moss and clearings.
And it's just like that for the whole, all around.
Pretty much.
Well, I guess we head that way and hope we don't get lost for years on end.
Okay. Who's taking the lead in heading that way?
Vistra, she has survival.
Okay.
I have survival too, but yeah, Vistra can go for it.
Not me.
2 seconds. I've got Vistra's stat sheet here. 21. Oh my. Okay. Told you I was running hot tonight. Apart from on Barar's stealth roll earlier, when I rolled a 3 and a 4. Hence why you heard the twig. Okay, Vistra goes, yeah, it's fine. Sort of like, starts setting off in a direction, sort of like, just looking at the trees and sort of like, kind of like looking at the moss formations and taking note. Heads off that way. And after about 15 minutes, you realise that you've seen the same patch of moss twice. You've seen the same patch of toadstools twice. And it's kind of Vistra sort of like goes, right, okay, hang on. This way. And sets off again. And 10-15 minutes later, the area looks pretty new. And it looks all new places. You're all fucking high. I broke my own fun thing. Stupid +4 survival. Anything less than 20, you would have been going around in circles for a while.
Hey,
Indeed.
Fudge, we don't have enough rations for stuff.
It's fine.
No,
Feywild, there's plenty to eat out here.
We're screwed. No, we're screwed, Dan. We're screwed.
So there we are. So again, sort of like wandering through, and the trees start to become a little bit thinner, and you can see sort of rising up ahead of you overgrown with moss and creeper and various trees sprouting. This stone, almost ziggurat, very dark, sort of like grey, almost like sort of like the base of this monument is from the ground itself, rising up about 70, 80 feet high. Steps leading up to what looks to be kind of a flat platform across the top, a few doors in the side that may once have been but have been overgrown to the point that you can tell that they're there behind this plant life. But it looks like a protective shield has almost been formed over it by the plants, stopping anyone entering. Various parts of the stairs leading up to the top flat area are cracked and bricks missing in some places where there might be an entire step missing. A tree seems to have kind of taken root, and the root forming its own step up. You see kind of at the top a figure standing there. Grey hair, longish, sort of like you can see what looks to be elements of a beard at this point. Robes looking very tattered, a little bit brown and mudded. And so the figure is at the top, sort of cleaning something off one of the trees that is growing out of this temple, placing it down, cleaning it off again, and placing it down. What do you do?
I guess just walk towards the ziggurat. It's the only thing we can see around, right?
Yeah, I mean, sort of like, the forest seems to continue around the ziggurat, sort of like in a again a fairly similar pattern to what you've been previously walking through. So the ziggurat itself seems to be kind of like, it seems to have made its own clearing, but also some of the trees seem to be trying to take it back. You approach and the figure sort of paying you no mind, sort of walks down sort of like the other side of the ziggurat and disappears out of view.
I'm not a fan of these disappearing people.
Yeah, this one hasn't disappeared.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
But yeah.
Do we want to walk around?
Is there a door to the ziggurat, or is it just like a structure?
It just seems to be like almost like a structure, sort of like rising out in the shape of kind of like what maybe once had been a ziggurat.
Okay.
But the forest seems to have taken the majority of it back.
Well, there's no door. I guess like I just kind of like peek around the side, like sir. See, like, just call sir, like, excuse me? Is there any response?
He turns sort of like slowly, sort of like towards where he thinks the sounds come from. He kind of like he doesn't look directly at you, but he kind of like turns 90 degrees and looks that way. And you notice that his eyes are just pure white.
Oh.
Doesn't see you. Doesn't sort of like look towards you. Looks. Hears your voice. Doesn't see where it's come from.
I guess. I'll just one more time. Excuse me, sir. We have a few questions.
Questions to you.
Yes.
What questions? Speak. Hasn't looked at you, still sort of like, continuing to work away on a tree that he has his back to you from.
What is this structure?
This structure is the forest. The forest is this structure.
All right. Hmm. I have no clue what he's going off of.
I don't know. Vistra, do you have any idea?
Mr. Grandfather looks at you and goes,
Is this Are we Can you point the way to the archway?
She is not anywhere. She is everywhere. You do not find the archway. She finds you. She finds you. He carries on working on the tree.
It's very cryptic, guys. Is he like, how tall is he? Is he like human size, halfling size?
Make a perception check.
14.
Looking at sort of like Vista and looking at sort of like the guy he's speaking to, they're not that dissimilar in size.
Guys, he kind of looks like he's like potentially. They said Ben was halfling, if I remember correctly.
All right, but so how do we ask if he's him if we can't use names like you said?
We have to word it right.
And how's that?
We know this, Dan, how to word something right for in terms of names. Considering she answered.
You know that you need to be careful in terms of asking for somebody's name.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this land it's expected that
So
if you ask for somebody's name and they give you their name, they have literally given you their name.
Yeah. So say if I go like ask, what may I call you?
Yeah.
That's not asking for anything. It's literally, okay, what can I call it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Quinn's gonna go and ask that. What may we call you, sir?
I don't know. I have no name to give.
That he might have been, guys. He might have. Do we want to ask him about Melora?
It's at that moment that you sort of suddenly realise that the quiet still around you has been getting slowly but surely sort of slightly louder as sort of like you begin to hear the sound of sort of like feet sort of like climbing around the stone, and you look up towards a tree and you see slowly descending above you a large green spider, about 10 feet across, with brown striped markings all across its back. Its paws sort of like just waiting as it's slowly trying to descend towards you. And that's when we're going to pick up next week.
God. Oh God.
Welcome to the Feywild.
Fuck you, Dan.
Welcome to the Feywild.
Yeah, no. As soon as you're like, oh, it's a little, pretty much it's like a goat man, and I'm like, well, you didn't say goat man. I knew what it was. I'm like,
Oh no.
fuck.
The second we saw stars instead of darkness, I'm like, oh, we're in Feywilds. That's what I knew. Way back then.
Yeah, no. He appears sitting on the toadstool, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden, can I have your name? And I'm like, shoot, I was prepared for this, but I can't remember what to do now.
Wow.
My brain.
It's probably like somebody's like, no, you may not have my name, but you may call me.
Yeah, you can do that too.
It's like you
have to
it's
word
like
it just right.
You may call me something. If you give any indication that you are literally just kind of like giving them your name, that's when it goes wrong and weird and interesting.
Tyler, you made the mistake of saying thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is that bad?
That means if it's as if like you
Basically,
owe
you
you
saying
something?
you saying thank you to him is essentially sort of like you
gave him something, but it's not. It's only
admitting
yours.
admitting that he's given you something.
Which,
Oh.
So with how Fae work, the assumption therefore is that you peed him off, that he gave you information and all you gave him back was words. All his information was words. Therefore, by saying thank you, you acknowledged it as a transaction.
But
Okay.
hey, no one knows that shit
You
yet.
just pissed off a Fae. It's fine. It might not be malicious. It might just be sulky. You never know.
He's just gonna draw dicks on our faces when we're asleep.
I'm going to roll that in between now and next week to see what he's going to do, what revenge he's going to take.
Well, it wasn't me who said it, so I'm fine, right?
Guilty by association. But yeah, so there we are. Thank you, guys. Shorter session. I'm going to poke Sarah and find out where she is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're in the Feywild and you haven't got a druid with you. What?
I know.
Yeah.
I want to hear for these things.
Maybe we need more people in the party. Cough.
Maybe you do. Okay, in time. It is something I'm working on. So, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Alice, for the raid. Hello Zeke. Hello Sky. Thank you, Starborn, for your 3-month Twitch Prime. You beautiful person, beautiful soul. We are going to be back next week with Antillian Mysteries at the same time, hopefully with all 3 players. I will poke Sarah
same
with
time for
sharp
us,
sticks.
but not same time for you.
Yes. Yes.
Same time for the
12:30
day.
for me. But yeah, I should be able to make that work. It's only 3 weeks, so it's going to be an issue. So I finish work at 12:30. So at worst, we'll be half an hour later starting for you guys.
Okay.
At worst, if I can't get the time off, which I should be able to get half an hour off, so I can get home in time. But that's fine. We are going to throw a raid tomorrow because I've not streamed it in God knows how long. It has been far too long. So we're going to throw over to a fellow mellow. Let's go and say hello to Melon the Felon, because we used to raid him muchos lots.
Nice.
Raid Melon the Felon. He is awesome people. He is speedrunner. Give us some love. Share some D Club hype if you got it. We will be back. I will be back again tomorrow night doing something. I don't know what yet. I haven't decided. I don't know. Till then, farewell.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, they can't even see us.
No, they saw us like in the corner.
Yeah, true. God, I upgraded melons. Oh, my resub for melon popped up, and I'm at 6 months now. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Download and keep Overlord.